Hello, love. Welcome home to Eden. This is Love Life with Eve, and I want to see if we can get to the bottom of why sometimes men can't get it up, and it's random. It's random. There's a common cause for this, and we're going to dive into it for a moment. I don't know if you've ever noticed, but every illness of every kind, every body reaction that's even, and we're not going to call this an illness, this is actually a wellness. This is your men's connection to their full being, is their cock is a full being part of you that is all the chakras go up the penis, just like all the chakras go up the yoni, starting at the balls as the base chakra, right? And the crown of the penis being the crown chakra. So randomly men will find, gosh, I had this hot week with my woman, it was so amazing, and then suddenly I just couldn't, just lost it. And it was right when she was super, super hot for me, and she was so into it, and now she's so mad at me because that was when I lost it, right? This is something that has a common cause amongst all men that is not being very acknowledged on the planet, and it's very hard for men to acknowledge the spiritual reason for this. Okay, well, anger at the feminine. Okay, let's get into it. It's like it's not allowed because mommy took care of you, mommy loved you, mommy gave you so much, and then she guilt-tripped you if you were angry at her or you didn't get something. She was like, I gave you so much, how can you ask for more? All right, we're going to look at two different scenarios for two different men. These are true stories. One man has a mother who was wonderful to him, super loving, super kind, super connected, super compassionate, the total opposite of his father, who was dictatorial, out of touch, shaming, blaming, controlling, and violent to, especially to his mother in front of him, right? So he's got this paradox where he loves the feminine, he honors the feminine, he trusts the feminine, but when it comes to dating, he does this thing where he, whatever the woman really wants, the thing she asks for, like in this situation, it was that she always loved to go to art movies, and she just wanted him to buy the tickets in advance so they could have a great night together at her favorite movies. And every single time it was his job to buy the tickets in advance, he just wouldn't do it purposefully. And they would get there and it'd be sold out and the whole night would be ruined. And he did it 5 times, right? And in every other way, he's a wonderful lover, very present. But what is he doing? He's sabotaging her with this incredible, bratty, entitled behavior, right? Now she learns, I don't trust him anymore. I don't want to go on dates with him anymore. I don't trust him as a man. The movie date thing actually destroys her trust in him altogether. Now, how could something so petty and small do that, right? Well, because what it's really connected to underneath is fury at the feminine, real anger. Why is he so angry at the feminine when it was his father who destroyed their lives? Well, because he's pissed at that mother for not leaving, for exposing him to all that. Where was her backbone? Where was her commitment to him? Why was she such a coward? Who cares if she was broke? If she had no one to take care of her and nowhere to go, she still could have walked out into the rain with her baby to a shelter, So, and he knows that. We all know that on some level. Everybody's got choice, no matter how dire the circumstances. Okay, if you're being held at gunpoint and you're terrified for your life, that's really different. That's really hard. But most women, when they're in abusive relationships, there really is some way out. And the child sees them not taking that opportunity, or even when the opportunity comes, the child sees them not taking the hand offered, right? So this affects his way of being able to be sexual or not. Sometimes he can totally be all there, and sometimes he just sabotages everything. Now let's look at the other gentleman. So the other gentleman has this situation in which he's so hot for his wife. She's so sexy. They're so sexy all the time, basically, except for the fact that they have an arrangement that some nights are to be focused all on her, and some nights are to be focused all on him in terms of pleasuring and being there for each other's, meeting each other's fantasies. It's a really great setup as a relationship to do that for each other, by the way. But it just so happens that on her nights, he can't get it up. On his nights, he's fine. Or on her nights, he gets it up, but right when she's into the total, like, surrender, oh, just so wonderful, then suddenly he loses everything, right? This is not a physical problem. This is an emotional sabotage, right? So what's the story with this guy and his mother issue? His mother situation was that he had a mother who was cold, unemotional, did not allow him to be expressive, completely controlled his every move in terms of being a good boy. And she was also really wonderful for, giving him all the things he needed and lots of compliments and accolades for being the perfect boy. So some part of him just does not want to please woman. He wants to say, fuck you. I'm free. I don't have to do what you say. I don't have to do what you want. So what happens is that men have these anger at women. It's taboo because they also love women, and they also love their mother, and it wasn't okay to, and it was really dangerous to be mad at the mother when she was the only one really there taking care of their physical needs and emotional needs, right? So to unearth the anger at the feminine and let that be okay, let it be real, that the rage at the woman, if you're going to call it toxic femininity, call it whatever you want, but I would say don't label it in a way that then you go to an extreme. Just say it as it is. This is the awful thing I lived through and that my mother did or that other women did that really was hurtful to me, and I'm furious about it. Now, if you can take that anger to an appropriate place, like a men's group, where you get to chop wood and set it on fire, or do crazy rituals. I know one men's group used to take my my lover at the time, one ritual, they had him in the river tied with ropes while he was screaming, letting go of things. I mean, men's groups will do incredible things, which is different than a men's team, by the way. We have a video up. I have a video up with Chris Manguso about men's groups. I was so thankful for him to come and share that with us, and I know that sometimes I'm talking about some of the things he shared in a way that seems like I don't agree with what he shared, but actually I do. I actually think it's just a story that's coming full circle. All these sides are right. We're looking at a cube that is many-sided, and each side has a different color, and they're all one cube. They're all just different perspectives. So anyway, sorry, to get to that place where your cock is more consistent with in the sexual domain and more able to please your woman in ways that don't set things into a disappointment for you both, you need to look at anger at the feminine, okay? At the feminine. Maybe there's anger at the masculine of some part of yourself who doesn't feel you're okay, that your masculinity is sacred and beautiful and powerful and wonderful and honorable. And that's another thing that could be in there, emotionally feeling like when you get to the peak expression of yourself that you've been put down and not allowed to be that masculine because of the feminine movement. Either way, it's the permission for you to be your full self and also be angry at women, at womankind or the woman in your life, and to channel that appropriately in a healing, ritualistic way with a therapist, not with her, okay? Because if you don't face this on your own somehow, and it's always coming out as sabotage, as undermining her because it's unconscious in you, that sabotage is so lethal to her. It's so damaging, especially to a woman who's being good for you and good to you and wonderfully connected. It's so hurtful to either side. If a woman is treating a man like crap because she's blaming all of her history with men onto him, it's so hurtful, right? When we do that to each other, and we don't just take responsibility for our own history, our own past, our own karma, whatever had us, as a soul, perhaps we choose our disasters and our challenges to grow as spiritual beings. And so when you take full responsibility for that, and at the same time you go, yeah, but I'm angry at how, my mother controlled me. I mean, some mothers really don't get it. Like, I'm watching this mother at a playground yesterday, and this little kid, this could have happened to you so easily, right? There's a huge, huge expanse of grass, right? There are no cars to worry about. There are just specks on this grass. There's so much room. And there's the swing set. And the little boy sees a group of kids playing over here, way across the field. And he starts running ecstatically. Oh, play with kids. He's running. Now his mom starts shouting, you come back here. You can't run. You can't go that far. You have to stay close to me. She is sabotaging a very instinctual, joyful truth of his that I want to run, I want to see kids, I want to play, I am safe in this big expanse of grass. If she lets him have his instinctual joy and then only curtails him when it's really time to, because they're walking down a sidewalk next to cars, and that's a different time. But she is completely different when there's a big expanse of space. Now he can trust the mother. He can trust that she actually has differentiates between his needs, and she is not there to control his power and his joy. She's there to simply create safety so that his power can be expressed in ways that work in the world, right? So the subtlety of this journey with you and your mother is huge, and it comes down to getting it up or not. I'm sorry, we don't want to connect those things with our moms, but it is all connected in there. So likely anyway. Maybe not. I know it's everyone's individual. We've each got different stories going on, and they're very subtle, but see if this relates to you. If it does, go get out that anger, go look at it, and it might be a life journey to deal with it. But when you separate it from the woman who adores you and who you love, and you also see there might be ways in which she's doing the same things your mother did. Now, this is the thing. We attract to people who do the same things that wounded us in the first place because we want to work it through. So I have a sense that if you stand up to her in a way, to your woman, in a way that is loving and clear and strong, and you don't back down, you just say no to certain things, this will release your sexual energy. Standing up for yourself in a loving, kind way that is not sabotage and unconscious, and it's simply strong and pure, will give you a strong and pure erection. Yes, it will. Okay. Much love, darling. Love life. Love, 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 love.